One thing is usually used to gauge the success of cryptocurrency. Price action is that one item. Crypto must be a huge success if both Bitcoin and older coins are trading at all-time highs, and I believe that practically everyone is misjudging the broader picture here. Once more, they are not stocks. When we consider stocks, for example, we naturally look at them. If the company's revenue is looking good, its product is selling, and its financial report is good, then the stock price is clearly rising. And I believe that everyone has this perspective on cryptocurrency. They ask themselves, why isn't the price action increasing if all this good news is happening? The problem with cryptocurrency at the moment is that, well, we're still dependent on Bitcoin. We are still dependent on conjecture and exaggeration. However, it is starting to change, and I believe that practically everything we see from big players, including the CFTC, is changing. The transition from a hype and speculative market to a much more mature and serious market is beginning to occur in real time. And since the CFTC's recent announcement has a significant impact for cryptocurrency, it is precisely what I want to discuss in this video. But first, let's briefly discuss XRP. I mostly want to talk about market price action. I was talking about Bitcoin and H-bar earlier in the day. When you look at this from a 24-hour perspective or even a 1-week perspective, it doesn't seem like anything is getting better, does it? However, we can see that we are trading in an uptrend if we examine the 4-hour perspective here on XRP. XRP may easily retest this trend at this point, and that would be approximately 2 landmarks. As we saw on the 21st, there might even be a wick beneath it. We are currently on an upward trend. Nevertheless, we do have greater lows. I really hope that this is kept up. After that, a new, higher high is the primary item we're examining. In this manner, we build a bullish structure. And once more, when we consider that XRP might drop off, or that the price action isn't looking good, guess what? I take it that XRP must be a failure. The coin XRP is worthless. XRP is doing nothing. It's simply being sold off. However, this is a really bad approach to look at whether you're successful or not in this market, because once more, we have not yet reached the stage of cryptocurrency utilization. However, we are paving the way for that. I want to review a few points now. Since the market is once again looking excellent, let's begin by discussing the significant change that is taking place in the area of regulation. I do believe that things are beginning to get better, believe that we are beginning to recover. Clearly, in order for it to keep turning bullish, we still want to concentrate on lower time frame structure. We must experience those greater peaks. However, I believe that thus far, December has given us a rather clear picture of where we're going. I believe we are beginning to get better. Naturally, improving liquidity will undoubtedly be beneficial. Naturally, the most important issue right now is legislation, as Eleanor Tourette gave us a significant update on December 3rd regarding a Christmas party with a cryptocurrency theme. Tim Scott revealed the banking GOP's position on voting and proposed 2 dates for when they might hold a markup of its market structure text on Tuesday. It appears that market structure will not be available in 2025. Particularly with vacation, holidays, and other stuff like that, it seems like it's being pushed until 2026. Well, nonetheless, there is a feasible way to have a markup in a committee with the necessary votes on December 17 or 18. I thought we had 13 Republican votes. 2 or 3 Democrats have already declared their support. Once more, it would be ideal for members who are scheduled to travel for the holidays on the 18th. By then, this would be marked up. It appears that we will be able to completely handle and sign this into law by 2026. Thus, clarity may become a reality in the first quarter of 2026, which was always my opinion on this since, with the shutdown and other issues, along with all the delays, I assumed that we would be entering 2026 anyhow. However, this is undoubtedly a significant one to concentrate on. Now, let's talk about clarity and the large regulators present. Paul Atkins, the SEC. Paul Atkins provided us with an update on the CFTC and SEC's regulatory harmonization back in September. In essence, these two are collaborating on legislation and regulatory actions related to cryptocurrency. We have been circling this idea for some time. Since the SEC litigation all the way back, we have always discussed Ripple at some point. The SEC won't likely be the main attraction, in my opinion. I believe that the CFTC and the SEC will actually collaborate. Everyone was pleading with these two parties to collaborate on legislation with industry CEOs. We are aware that the CFTC stated back in the summer that they were examining remarks made by prominent CEOs in the industry in order to establish appropriate laws for cryptocurrency. And that, in my opinion, is the ideal course of action since it guarantees that innovation will continue to flourish, nothing will be delayed, and this industry can function in a controlled but highly effective manner. Since then, there has been a noticeable change in both the legislative and regulatory aspects of things. However, the CFTC is the main focus here. However, the SEC is as well. Paul Atkins gave us a significant update on the second. According to him, the agency intends to announce an innovation exemption for digital asset projects in less than a month and has the power to move crypto legislation forward without waiting for Congress. This will be significant. Once more, this demonstrates the SEC's dedication to ensuring the success of cryptocurrency. Additionally, Paul Atkins recently spoke with us on Fox Business. Here, tokenization is already here and won't be going away. In a recent appearance on Fox Business, SEC Chair Paul Atkins referred to tokenization as the future. Maybe in a few years, but not in 10. He is now arguing that in order to maintain the U.S. at the forefront of international markets, regulators must welcome innovation after years of the SEC obstructing it. They simply said the silent portion aloud. Market upgrading is a must. It's essential for survival. Much credit for this goes to crypto's RS. Look it over. Do you think financial services will go in this direction? Do today's main banks and brokers have a growing inclination toward tokenization? Oh, of course. And it's how the world will be in the near future. Possibly not even in 10 years, but perhaps much sooner, in a few years. Therefore, I believe that all of this market modernization is beneficial. The issue that has arisen in recent years is that, in contrast to the past, the SEC has not always been in the forefront of promoting new technologies. Naturally, it was always a little bit behind the market. The marketplace, however, has been essentially standing a fort lately, with all these new inventions emerging. That's all there is to it. In fact, we are embracing it, and I think that in order to maintain American leadership, we must do so. Well, listen, tokenization is clearly a top priority for all regulators and TradFi giants alike. If you can think of a huge name, it would be Citi, Bank of America, JP Morgan, or even the IMF, SWIFT, or the DTCC. All of them are discussing tokenization. The reason for this is that it is the future. This is clearly from Paul Atkins. The CFTC, what about it? What was it they announced? The first ever listed spot cryptocurrency trading on U.S. regulated exchanges has been announced by CFTC-FAM. By doing this, the CFTC is opening the way for some of the largest companies to join the cryptocurrency market. Caroline D. Pham has informed us that listed spot cryptocurrency can now be traded on CFTC exchanges. In order to safeguard Americans who should have access to secure U.S. markets rather than offshore transactions, we are working more quickly and intelligently. I hope this video was enjoyable to all of you. If you did, please click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more free content. Join the free Discord description below and follow me on Twitter if you have more than one. Having stated that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Goodbye.